All right, today we're taking a look at a tool that could, and I mean this, seriously change the game for anybody designing electronics. It's called Analog Studio, and it promises to make the whole process faster, smarter, and way more intuitive. So let's jump right in and see if it lives up to the hype.
Absolutely, and let's just start with a question for everyone watching. Have you ever been using your circuit design software and just felt like you wanted to launch your keyboard into orbit? You know that feeling, right? Where it feels like the tool is actively fighting you every single step of the way. It's a huge frustration and a real creativity killer.
And that is exactly the problem Analog Studio is here to solve. It's been developed by Algo Science Lab, and it's a completely modern tool, built from the ground up. The goal here isn't just to serve seasoned engineers, but students too. It's all about giving everyone access to a really powerful, fluid workflow.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about setting up your personal workspace. I mean, think about it. A clean, organized workbench is key for any designer, and in this world, your screen is your workbench.
So you start out with this perfectly clean slate, just ready and waiting for your ideas to come to life. And you gotta see this. You can totally customize the look and feel. So if you're coming over from another tool, you can make it look just like Cadence Virtuoso and feel right at home instantly. Or, my personal favorite, you can go for a really sleek dark theme like Midnight or Carbon.
You really do have total control over your workspace. From the grid style, whether you like dots, lines, or crosses, to how visible it is, you can tweak every little detail. It's all about making sure your environment gives you both precision and, just makes it comfortable to work in.
All right, our workspace is all set up. Now let's get into the real heart of circuit design, actually creating the schematic.
Okay, so let's say I'm brand new to this. How easy is it to actually start building something? It's almost ridiculously simple. It's just a three-step dance. You pick a component from your library, you click to place it on the canvas, and then you just click and drag to connect the dots with wires. It is incredibly intuitive.
And from that really simple process, you can build something as complex as this. What you're seeing here is an AND gate, a fundamental building block of all digital logic, and it's built from the ground up using individual transistors.
Whoa, hang on a second. So you're telling me this entire intricate design was put together with just a few clicks and drags? That's seriously impressive. It really shows that a simple interface doesn't mean you have to sacrifice power.
Exactly. And all those components, they come from libraries. What's absolutely crucial for anyone doing serious chip design is that Analog Studio supports industry-standard process design kits, or PDKs. This is a huge deal.
Okay, you said PDK. Break that down for me. What is that in plain English? Okay, the best way to think of it is like the IKEA instruction manual for designing a chip. It comes straight from the manufacturing factory and it tells you exactly which parts you're allowed to use and all the rules for how to put them together so your final chip can actually be built.
So we've got our schematic built. Now it's time for the moment of truth. Is this thing actually going to work? Let's find out with some simulation and analysis.
To run all our tests, Analog Studio uses the super powerful and industry-proven ngSpice engine. The software is smart enough to find it automatically, so really, with just a single click, you are ready to unleash the brains of the operation and see how your circuit performs.
All right, I'm kind of on the edge of my seat here. We've designed the circuit, the engine is all fired up and ready to go, but does it actually do what it's supposed to do?
And here's our answer. The interactive waveform viewer pops up right inside the tool, which means no switching between different programs. We can see the inputs and outputs of our AND gate, we can zoom in, add measurement cursors, we can see for ourselves that everything is working perfectly.
But we are not done yet, not by a long shot. For anyone designing actual microchips, there's one more critical step, and that is creating the physical layout.
Okay, schematic, layout, what's the real difference there? How should we think about that?
Here's a good way to look at it. The schematic is like the architect's blueprint. It shows all the concepts and the connections.
The layout?
Well, that's the actual construction plan for the skyscraper. It defines every physical piece of steel and concrete and where it all goes.
Welcome to the layout editor. As you can see, it's a whole new world of geometric shapes and different layers. And over here on the right, we have the Design Rule Check, or DRC. Think of it as a super strict proofreader that checks all your work against that PDK rulebook we talked about, and it catches any mistakes before your chip goes to print. And in this case, it's found 48 errors that we need to go back and fix.
Wow. So you go from just a spark of an idea to a full schematic, you simulate it to make sure it works, and then you create a fully verified chip layout. Analog Studio really does have you covered for the entire journey. That's the whole workflow, all in one place.
So let's do a quick recap of the key features we saw. A really intuitive schematic editor, that powerful ngSpice engine with a built-in waveform viewer, full PDK support, and that integrated layout editor with TRC. And we didn't even get to things like smart wire routing, which helps you make clean connections automatically, saving tons of time. It really feels like the complete package.
So, the big question, is Analog Studio pioneering the future of electronic design? You know, it's probably too early to say for sure, but with this modern, integrated, and really accessible approach, it is definitely making a strong case to be a major contender in the space. This is for sure one to watch.